an interview for Frank Galey, and Frank's in Wyoming. Where are you at exactly, Frank?
Sheridan, Wyoming, north central, just on the east slope of the Bighorn Mountains.
Okay, and our deal today is like, what have you been doing for the past 40 years? I mean, isn't
Where
that
do you want
question
to start?
I know. Where do you want to start? Well, I like to start really, exactly right at the very beginning when you left CSU after graduation and you're driving away. Like, what are you driving to? What's your destination and what happened?
Well, like anything else, opportunity knocks. And so I kind of took a few zigs and a few zags. I practiced for a couple of years, started in a mixed practice in Rifle, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Didn't stay there very long. Had an opportunity to go to San Diego, California, of all places, because I was interested in horses, and it was pretty much horse only practice. And so I practiced there for a couple of years, a little under, and and I've always been interested. I was kind of a chem nerd when I was in pre-vet, and got involved in some cases of horses that had been poisoned. And I was calling the Poison Control Center in Illinois. And Bill Buck said, well, we don't have anybody interested in horses and just a few in cows. You want to come up and do a residency? So that was
Are
the
you
last thing on my
kidding?
mind. That was the
Are you
last thing on my
kidding
mind,
me?
was to go back to school. But in 1984, late in 84, I traveled to Urbana, Illinois. I spent 4 years there, obtained my board certification in toxicology and my PhD in, basically toxicology, pharmacology and toxicology. And from there, took a job as the director of toxicology at the California Veterinary Diagnostic Lab out in Davis.
Mm.
And I mostly diagnostic medicine, worked on everything from large poultry ranches all the way to pets and wildlife and cattle and horses. So it was good fun. Yeah, I was there for 11 years, worked my way up through the faculty ranks, and got a call from a good friend in I guess it had been 1989,
Mhm.
from a really good friend. I've been there 11 years. A good friend they were looking for a new director for the Wyoming State Veterinary Laboratory. Well, Wyoming's home, and I'll try my hand at being a state lab director. Had some good colleagues at Wyoming. I went there. I was a department head and director for 2 years, and the dean abruptly stepped down. And so after some wrangling with the provost, I moved into the dean's office. So that was where the lobotomy was complete, and I became an administrator pretty much. Um,
So you had that clinical time and then academic, and so back then teaching, now head of a director of a laboratory. And when you say the provost, the dean stepped down, what was the context? Because when I think dean, I think of a college. So,
right. So that was the dean of the College of Agriculture at the University of Wyoming. And that's
okay,
where the
gotcha.
veterinary science department was housed. And so that's why I got tapped to step in. I told the provost at the time I'd do it for 5 years, and I ended up doing it for 17 years. Um,
What?
had a lot of fun. I got to do a little bit of veterinary medicine. I backed Merle Racebeck up in toxicology when he was out or something like that. Kind of kept up my credentials there in the boards. And spent quite a bit of time. The governor appointed me to chair the Wyoming Brucellosis Coordination Team. This is an interagency group that was dealing with the wildlife livestock interface in the greater Yellowstone area related to brucellosis. So I was working with the state vet quite a bit. Believe it or not, I ran into Tom Linfield at almost every meeting.
Tom,
Because
shout out to Tom Linfield.
Yeah, well, because Tom was with USDA at the time. Well, he was Montana State vet for a while too. So he would come to those meetings, and because it involved Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Um, and so I did that kind of in addition to being dean. That was just a volunteer thing or an extension thing, whatever you want to call it. And then I retired in 2018. I was eligible to retire. I was going to go do something else, maybe go do some more toxicology. I didn't know. And got a call from a good friend and colleague, Dr. Noel Cockett, who was president at Utah State University. She said, Frank, I know you're a land grant person. I need a provost. So I went to Utah State University. I was provost for just under 4 years, 2018 till June of 22, which would have been last year, whereupon
So
I
you
retired a
moved,
second time.
and you moved there.
Yeah, I moved to Logan.
Okay.
And I did that for 4 years. It's kind of like military, just all over
Yeah,
the
no
country.
stopping you. You were all over the place. Okay. Uh-huh.
And then effective July of 22, I retired. And I split with my first wife a number of years ago, and got remarried to Donna Brown. And Donna was still working at Utah. Well, I met her at Wyoming, but she and I moved together. And so she actually worked till the end of December of this past year. And so we just moved back to Sheridan in December. And I'm looking to do some consulting if somebody needs, wants some misinformation about toxicology. But I'm just trying to adjust now to being retired for the second time and looking to do lots of stuff. I've got this ranchette / farm that I grew up on in Sheridan. So I'm spending a lot of time harrowing fields and building fence and doing those things I did when I was 18.
It feels good to be outside doing stuff. You don't need to think about going to a gym. That's just dumb. Yeah, I have 12 acres. I have 5 horses. It's always like, oh, who's moving where? What are we doing for this pasture? Oh my gosh, I got to go check the fence over there. And so, you stay strong and healthy, I like to think. So how much acreage do you have over there?
It's a small place. It's just under 30 acres.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of fence. I can
Well,
say just for
relative to
that.
Wyoming, it's a small place. Put it that way.
Sure. Yeah. So, so you say you kept up your toxicology credentials and everything too. Yeah, I hate giving anything up once I've gotten that credential. Yeah,
Right.
somebody said to me, geez, I wish you were still practicing. I said, I have my veterinary license. I'm just not practicing clinical medicine. I'm doing consulting. It's like I feel like I've graduated. Like doing consulting
Well,
now. So with you
I'm
on
pretty
that.
much just doing the same thing you are, consulting. Well, I haven't done much consulting because I'm just getting my feet on the ground. But and I do, practice a little bit, mostly on my sister's horses. I
I was just
consult
gonna
with
say,
her.
yeah, you got to have your license for your friends and family, right? Yourself, right? Yeah, that's for sure.
Which
But I was
I'm
surprised.
probably a hazard for anybody else. So I use the local vets if I get in even partly deep.
Oh gosh, yeah. If it's something super intensive, it's like who has all the instruments and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. But it's I think that when we reach a time in our life and we say we're retiring, I feel like veterinarians don't really do that. I see a lot who still practice to some degree, even as we get older. And retirement, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's in our bailiwick in a way.
Yeah.
We find a way to keep like super engaged somehow. So, what would you say your passion is now, at this point in your life?
Well, in the veterinary world, I would like to, I'm trying to figure out now how to do a little bit more toxicology work. I want to engage a little bit more in the community. I haven't for a while because of my administrative duties. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I want to do. And obviously privately, enjoy this place, the farm. Don and I renovated. We both love to travel. I'm a rock climber and a skier, so I do like to get out and do those outdoor things. I took a bit of a fall this winter, and so I'm kind of hobbling now. So I don't see rock climbing and skiing for a year or two yet now.
Hmm.
But it's one of those things. Otherwise, yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
I've been on I've been on that rat race academic treadmill for,
Mhm.
well, 17, 18, 19, and 23 years. And so I just need to figure out, what's next.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's so many opportunities. I want to talk to you offline about some stuff too. But I find like, right now it's almost like all the stuff, your day kind of unfolds gently. And I enjoy that part of it, don't you? Where, you get
Oh,
up and you could have your cup of coffee for as long as you want.
well, it depends. If my sister's going to pop in, I better be up and hopping because she's a rancher and she gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I can't do. No, I like the slow unfolding. The one thing I did do is I got an automatic feeder, so I didn't have to get up at 6 o'clock to feed my cats. I have two very spoiled rescue
Mhm.
feral cats, and yeah, they're quite the characters. That's Donna there. Donna, meet Donna. And
Hi.
my Donna is a designer. That's been her academic area, clothing designer, wearable art. So she's
Mm.
exhibited all over the world, and she's working on a competition right now. So she's got her passion. She's so happy not to be doing all that academic stuff, so she can just focus on her projects.
Oh wow, that's incredible. Yeah, my only nod to that is when I got the veterinary logos that a few people submitted their art
Uh-huh.
design, and everybody, we were all talking about, well, maybe we'll get those, figure out who wins and do a contest for that, and then we'll order some swag or what have you, and that would be part of the ticket. And I was just like, oh, whoa, no, maybe, there's something called Redbubble, and
Mm.
sometimes I'll upload some stuff on there, and then we could smack it on, 100 different items. And one thing I didn't think about was is that it's not a very all-inclusive kind of a program for Redbubble. It's like, yes, it will put the design on the t-shirts
Yeah.
or phone cases, what have you, but you have to get on there and optimize it and configure what it looks like best or something. And I had 5 designs and like 100 items. And oh my God, if there's let me just put it this way, if there's something you like on one of those things and it doesn't look quite right, let me know. I'll get in there and fix it. Oh my God, but there's no additional charge on them. It's just I put a zero, profit on there so people could just order at cost. And I was thinking it'd be kind of fun. People might end up ordering, their own t-shirts, whatever they wanted, in case they wanted to, like show up at the reunion, which yeah, you had thanked me for doing stuff on there, but I got to tell you, it was really Lisa, of course, with Mike Matz and Tom Linfield, who had
Mhm.
put the initial concept together, and all I did was volunteer. And I'm one of those weirdos that if I volunteer, I kind of like get completely immersed.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So did you have any of those logos that you took a look at, or when you were up on, did you get a chance to see that on the website?
Yeah, I did look at them. I haven't decided to get anything yet. I'm just looking, but I thought they looked fine to me.
I
I like
know.
them all.
I know. I liked them all too. I thought it was just so brilliant that, folks had contributed and taken the time to make those designs.
Well, and it's theirs. That's right. It's ours. It's the classes, which I like that too.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Exactly. Yeah. So, are you going to be coming to the reunion?
I should be listed as coming. I'm not sure. I didn't see the last roster, but I sent my money and it got to Mike, I believe, and it got
Yeah.
cashed. So I darn
Yeah.
sure better be coming with Donna.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'd be honest, I don't have the list memorized. There are over 50 people
Yeah.
that are on the list, and out of our class of, I want to say we were 130, 135 or 7.
Was it 130,
Um,
37 or something? Yeah, we had a couple drop back and we had one addition. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact,
50,
so
that's
out
about a
of that,
40% rate. That's not bad, actually.
yeah, that's pretty remarkable. And then the other thing too is that I do have a memorial page that I put up, and we lost about a dozen classmates through
If
the
we lost
years.
that many, I have to go back in and look at that. I knew of a couple,
Hmm.
Schmidt, Dr. Schmidt, Scott.
Yeah, we
Oh,
had we
what?
also listed the faculty that we knew of who passed away, and that's
Oh, you
further
did.
down
Okay.
on the page. So at the top, I put our colleagues, I mean our classmates, and then down below I had
Colleagues.
the yeah the list
I'll,
for.
I'll dig back in because I haven't looked at the website here in a few days. I've been busy farming.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, 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 no. It's just kind of fun, pop on there. I change things around pretty as I get more added,
Yeah,
and so I move the pages around in order so people will see, kind of what's featured and prominent. One
right.
of the crazy things that happened is I didn't anticipate this. Folks were encouraged to send in pictures, and a lot of people got theirs scanned in, and so they got them digitalized, and then they had the opportunity to either send them to me to upload or what have you. So I was uploading things on the gallery page, and it got so heavy with in terms of the numbers that the website program for building was like, no, you can only upload like two or three at a time, and oh my God, that's not going to work.
It'll take
you
me
know
forever.
yeah, so I ended up posting Google Photo album, and then a shuttlefly album, and basically people can upload to whatever one they are most commonly
And that's
used
on
to
the
using.
website to get there, right?
Yeah,
As I remember, last time I looked, that was up.
yeah, yeah. So I put that up, and
Mhm.
that way people have been posting. So they're not mimicking each other. It's just whatever people were easier to post on, and I'm doing this. And I can't literally mimic one to the other simply
Yeah.
because it's too crazy with trying to duplicate. And there's hundreds. Basically what I'm saying is there's like 300 or more photos, and it is so exciting to go through. So I'm going to take my laptop to the reunion, and I'll sit there, if anybody wants to help me caption or stuff, because you actually can go in and caption when if you know people or whatever, and that's kind of fun. And then I believe Mike
Mhm.
Matz is going to be getting these put into some type of a program that's going to allow them to show up, and they'll just cycle through for, I believe, the banquet.
I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that. It's been a while since I've done one, but PowerPoint used to have one. I did that one for my dad's celebration of life a number of years ago. And
Oh,
we
PowerPoint.
just had
Okay.
rolling photographs. So that worked pretty well.
It is so wonderful. And so then yeah, the hotel where we're staying is got a kind of a fun little deal where they have musical instruments that you could check out. There's phonographs all around. You could go to the lending library and pull out albums. I'm personally hoping somebody will have the foresight to bring their copies of their Starlight Ramblers albums, and we could play those, since
Yeah.
everybody remembers going and having a lot of fun at Panama Reds to dance to Starlight Ramblers. Oh my
And
gosh. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of really cool activities, and I'm just so glad you're going to make it out there too. And
it'll be good to see everybody.
oh gosh, yeah. And then of course, I don't know if you do any golfing or but I guess you were saying something about rock climbing and hiking, but you can't really do that right now. Yeah. Well, anyway, there's some extra little things that are going on those days. Um,
You don't
yeah.
want me to golf. Let me tell you, I'm dangerous with a golf club in my
Oh,
hand.
I wouldn't even try. Yeah. I was delighted to see how many of of our classmates were going to be attending and how much fun they're having with all of this. By the way, you can thank Barb Shore for coming up with the idea of interviewing. So that's
Okay,
fun. We're
that's
doing
good.
these little interviews, and I think we're up to probably about 12 or 13.
That's great. And then people who couldn't make it could look in, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm probably going to do some video while I'm there and maybe upload some of those as well. Just,
Get
using
some
my
clips or
camera.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, not anything too professional, certainly, or anything.
Right.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
Well, not particularly, unless you have any other questions. Just on the personal side, I've got two kids, two children, both of whom live in Denver, and two grandchildren, which is a parent's ultimate revenge, is grandchildren. I love them. So they're all in
Yeah.
Denver. My daughter is a marketing, I don't know what her title is, but she's up the ladder in marketing with Kroenke Sports, and is married. And then my son and his wife and two kids live in South Denver, and he's working in aerospace. He's an engineer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they have a big program out there. I think it all moved from California to Colorado, the
I think a
aerospace.
lot of them are sure there, but yeah, he's my rocket scientist, and Allie, in the meantime, is keeping the sport world in line.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a nice coincidence that they're both there in Denver. So are you going to take the opportunity to visit when you're in Fort Collins?
We're going to try. We're going to see. It just depends. Got a lot going on here as well. For sure, we're going to try to visit them. Whether we do it on that trip or not, I don't know. We've got that ugly two-letter CE that I need to pick up, so I'll be back down in Laramie in mid-June for the Wyoming VMA to get my annual credits, my annual CE injection. But yeah, we definitely want to be getting down there to Denver, and then Donna has two sons who I'm very proud to call at least partly my own, who live in still back in Utah. They moved to Utah. They followed us there, and they're still there. So we'll be trying to get to Logan sometime to visit them as well.
Oh my
So
gosh, see, you have it all planned out. You could just go visit kids.
that's a lot of windshield time, but you're right. And that's part of our plan. We love to
Uh-huh.
travel, think warm beaches and sand in the winter.
Oh,
Mountains are great in the summer, and visiting the kids. Chris is he works for international programs at Utah State University, and
hmm.
the younger son Stuart's a law assistant.
Very good. Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh,
that's the only thing I'd add is we got kids scattered all around. They're doing fine.
yeah, that's such a good feeling. My gosh, but yeah, I just think that's amazing that you had, yeah, I guess it really, to sum this all up, is that your career kind of took like this deviation and it just kept deviating to incredible types of uh, types of positions. So that's fantastic. And dare I say, you've had quite a remarkable impact, on the veterinary world because of that. And I feel like a lot of our colleagues have done that too. Our classmates have been doing some stuff that I never would have envisioned. So that's
Well,
pretty fantastical.
you never know where you're going to go,
Oh
and
God,
that's
yeah.
while I was at Utah State University, I was only there 4 years, but we were able to expand the veterinary school from a 2-year to a 4-year program. So I worked very closely with the president and our now interim dean, with legislators and whatnot to get years 3 and 4 funded. Which
So
in this
so Utah has its own vet school?
Utah State University already had it first 2 years. They had a 2+2 with Washington State University.
Yeah.
And over the next few years, they'll be migrating to a full 4-year program. They will be hoping to accept some WICHE and regional students. And it was fun. That was a fun trip, kind of getting that concept off the ground. We have a big new building that's going to be going on and going up in the north side of campus there. So I've been involved in veterinary medicine anytime I can get my fingers into it. But just like you said, who knew they'd do the lobotomy and make an administrator out of you? I used to tell people that it's just
Yeah.
like horse medicine. You go into the stall and you get bitten, kicked, and scratched, and then you go see the client. And that's kind of the way it was in academics too.
Oh my gosh, I hear you. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing. Tell you what, stay right there. I'm going to stop our interview for now. I appreciate so much that you've shared, and I just am so excited to see you guys again. I just can't believe it's happening for real. 40 years, and it's going to be in just about 30 days.
Well, I have to tell you, 40 years since graduation from vet school is a little terrifying to me. I've got to tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. It is. It's just freaky to say it. All right.